Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined by the man from the Citizen Channel, the ruler of the roost, Bernard. How you doing, mate? I've got to come up with new.
You got to come up with new things, mate. You'll have to do a list. You have to write a list down, have a bit of paper in front of you. I don't mind them being derogatory either. You can be derogatory. Right. I told you about my Teflon days, when we had a cup file, and I all had to put a little message in about your players, and I put, just write my nickname's Teflon because I'm non-stick with my gloves or something like that, Yeah. So I don't mind a little bit of fun at my expense.
Yeah. And welcoming to the channel, the ball buffoon, that is Bernard. Anyway, well, guys, let's get a bit serious now. We are going to be serious. We're going to talk. We're in the international break. We need too much to talk about. We're going to talk about Bernardo Silva. We're going to talk about life after Bernardo Silva. Why do I say that? He's just signed a contract extension. Well, for the last 2 summers, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of noise, even from Bernardo himself, that he wants to move to sunnier climes. Well, there's nothing sunny than Manchester. Look at the sunshine bouncing off Bernard's head, and I'm in Northern Ireland today. It's bouncing off mine as well. But he's all this, talk behind the scenes. And Bernardo's come out now and signed a 1-year contract extension that gives him basically he'll be here for another 3 years. Or will he? We've discussed this, briefly in the past, but we're here to discuss it properly. Look, Bernardo's a fantastic player, versatile. He's played for us as a false 9. He's played on the right wing, he's on the left wing, in midfield. We even saw him last season. Pep tried him at fullback and then tried to get him to move in at left back and move into midfield. Don't think it worked too well as a left back. Midfield, he was fine, but as a fullback, he was less than fine. But my belief is that Bernardo will leave next summer. My firm belief that this contract extension is at the behest of City, and City have said, you're worth a lot more. People aren't paying what you're worth, but we'll do this. If you sign an extension, we'll let you go for 50 million quid next year. That's my belief. And it puts everybody to bed. If they'd done a deal with him and said, look, we'll let you go for 50 million next year, but we're not going to say anything about it, we'd have had this speculation going on and on and on. Now, bang, gone. No more speculation. The only person who's speculating is me. Nothing in the media, nothing anywhere about Bernardo moving on because he's got this 1-year contract extension. Everybody's convinced that he loves it here. He's been saying the right things. Everybody's convinced that he's going to stay here. I've given you my opinion. What's yours? Do you think Bernardo will be leaving next summer, Bernard?
Yeah, I mean, there is a release clause now, isn't there, as well?
50 million quid, apparently.
Of course, I think definitely. I mean, we know he wants to go. We know he's 100% for City. But I think Pep's also been preparing us. I think certainly last season, I think at times he did to be without Bernardo. Obviously, he's not been 100% as he this year, so he's missed perhaps a couple of appearances because of illness or an injury or whatever. But I don't worry too much. I personally, I'm less worried now perhaps than I was a couple of seasons ago of Bernardo going, because I think we're fully set up with the people we're bringing in to cope without him. We'll miss his energy, of course. We'll miss his brilliant goals at times, but I'm not so worried now. But I agree with you. I just think a year extension to that contract, to give that 3 years, is just not a smoke screen, but just an agreement. And this is how City do it. I think we try and be fair to players, as long as players are fair to us. I mean, obviously, if players start playing funny buggers, then I'm sure we're capable of doing a similar thing. But people like Bernardo, as a reward, I don't know how many years has he been here now? Can you tell me offhand?
6. He came.
So, I mean, it's not bad, is it? I mean, he's not going to be a 10-year. Of course, he isn't. But I would have to agree with you. As soon as I even heard about the new contracts, I think we chatted about it, and it just smacks that obviously the teams who want him will probably have that money next year to buy him, and as you said, he'll be 20-30 million less than perhaps what his market value is, and that'll reward him. He's got a nice, lovely young wife now, hasn't he? And he'll go back to somewhere that's always warm, not just the odd days like here. But in the meantime, Pep will use him, and he'll do a wonderful job for us. So I'm not too worried about anything in this situation.
This is just like, it's his 7th season at City.
Right. Yeah.
He's.
I mean, hell, that's all right. Even though there's been speculation, that's never meant he's not down tools. He's never not performed for us. So
No.
7 years is pretty good.
If you look at the games he's played in the league, 35, 36, 34, 26. I think he was injured there. 35, 34. And the number of games he plays, when you look at them across the season.
What we lose with Bernardo is obviously, as you say there, he doesn't get that injured that often. I know he's had a bit of a problem this season so far, but
he was ill. That's different. That's not injury. He was ill.
Yeah, sorry, he was ill, wasn't he? Yeah, but it's like Phil Foden, isn't it? He was ill for part of it with his appendicitis, but it affected him. But with Bernardo, it's never been a problem. You will lose that versatility as far as elasticity, his ability to bounce back. Because he gets fouled a lot, doesn't he? Let's face it, he's a bit like, well, Grealish is the same, isn't he? He seems to get on. He seems to put touch wood, put his injury problems behind him, and Bernardo just bounces up every time.
Just like Grealish, he does kind of annoy opposition players and opposition fan bases, which is why one of the reasons we love him for the things he does. But yeah, you're right. I think Pep is preparing. You look at the new players we've got. There's nobody anything like Bernardo, but I think we will. Pep evolves and develops, and his style.
I mean, you said he's out at 30 odd, didn't you? I'm fairly sure he probably won't play as many this season. No, I don't think
Bernardo. Yeah. I think other players will get a bit of a look in. But look, when you look at the numbers that he plays in the season, the number of games: 53, 51, 52, 45, 50. Last season, 55. That's a heck of a lot of games. And he ended up playing at the end of the season, all the important games. So, he is an important, integral part of our first team at the moment. But I think with the young players we're getting in and the new roles for players, the roles we saw Rico Lewis play this new role last season. We saw Stones do it. We've now seen Akanji do it. We are developing our side, and I think we're developing it into a team that will be not so reliant on Bernardo Silva because he'll be gone. We're evolving. Every season, we lose a good top player. Since Pep's been here, Joe Hart, we lost to him. We lost Zabaleta. We've lost Vincent Kompany, Yaya Toure, Vincent Kompany, David Silva, Sergio Aguero, Fernandinho, and Ilkay Gundogan. And we've always managed to adapt and move on and move forward. It's not really held us back. So, when the day comes, Bernardo Silva leaving will be a very sad day, I think. But hopefully we'll focus on the positives and what he brought to us rather than worry about, what we're losing. Last question. Let's say Bernardo does leave next summer. Is he a legend? It's a word bandied about. Aguero's a legend. Kompany, Aguero, Silva. They're all legends. Do you have to be 10 years to become a legend? KDB will be a legend. Will Bernardo be a legend at City?
A hero rather than a legend. For me, anyway. I love, I've always loved Bernardo from the early day, from when he came. Not just because of his name. Biased, of course, but what a player. Fantastic player, and what a bloke. He's just wonderful. But, you can't... obviously, when I go back and do me sort of analysis of what he did at City when it comes to that day, and I look back at his role, I'll remember lots of great things. But it's a bit Gundo for me. Big heroes, done it at important times, but not perhaps a legend. But they're all legends to me. But as you say, not in a legend in the way of Aguero's and the companies, if you like.
Okay, I'll ask you another question. We talked in another video about KDB. Do you think KDB will go down as a legend?
Yeah, well, he's bored. Like he's sort of on his way. If he has another 18 months, 2 years of once he gets back fit. He can be a legend, and he is a legend, but he can be even more of a legend than perhaps he is at the moment.
KDB's 9th season, so Bernardo's it's his 8th.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing with KDB is to be disappointed that he's missed out a couple of the big titles, like the Champions League. he'd be disappointed in 2 Champions League finals, and twice he's had to come off. He'll be disappointed. So he's still got time to put that right. So we'll be happy with that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a final question. It was a final question before, but how many games has KDB played more than Bernardo Silva?
Oh, how many? About 2 seasons more, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he played more than Bernardo?
Yes.
Does he?
Yeah, he's played 2 seasons more than Bernardo.
No, but I mean, in game, yeah, it's hard to equate the games, isn't it? Yeah, so that's say 100 games for 2 seasons. Not many.
49.
Yeah.
So there's not a big difference in games.
Yeah, I mean, KDB's had his problems, hasn't he? Of course, injury-wise as well. But yeah, I mean, Bernardo's figures they must be up there with the best of the last 6, 7 seasons of City appearances.
Yeah, 309 appearances, 55 goals, pretty decent. Well, there you have it, guys. That's Bernardo Silva. We both are pretty convinced he'll be moving on next summer.
We'll miss him, but we're making prep. We're already thinking ahead. Yeah. Pep's already thought ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll miss him, but City will move on. We'll keep going. We've lost big stars before. We'll lose big stars in the future, and we just keep going on, keep rolling forwards, and that's the way it's got to be. Guys, if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos come out. We'll see you around, Blues.